Welcome to another episode of the Roughly Related to Reselling podcast. My name is Perry Phillips. I go by Perry Flips on Instagram with a Z, Podhead Picker on X, Flips and Giggles on Facebook, and Flips and Giggles is also the name of the eBay store too. So there we go. Welcome again. If you've liked the show, please subscribe. You can get the show anywhere you get podcasts. Now all episodes are available on YouTube. And help me out, help the show out if you like the show. Tell a friend. Let's get into it. It was a long night. I got to tell you, I almost didn't do the podcast today, but I was like, you know what? There's like a handful. Okay, there's like 2 or 3 people who are hoping that this podcast comes out, so I can't let them down. No, my kid was up so I was going to bed and I went to bed early the night before. So last night I was like, I was good. I was like, I'm gonna play a little bit of video games. We were gone over the weekend, and then Sunday when we got back, I was like way too tired to fucking play video games. Sometimes you're just too tired to play video. If you're too tired to play video games, it's pointless. You're gonna fall asleep at the first loading screen. So I just went up and went to bed. So last night I was like, all right, I haven't played video games in a few days, and it was yesterday was just, Mondays are always my busiest day, just because I've got packages from the weekend, and then typically I have more packages that come out, so I have to go back to the post office in the afternoon on Monday. And then the trash goes out on Monday. There's just, we try to figure out the meals for the week. There's a lot of stuff that goes on Monday. I had to do, I had a little bit of that couch left from that fucking storage unit. So I was just breaking it. I had already broken it all down, but I had to just put it into garbage bags. So I had 3 or 4 more bags that I had to fill. And it finally was nice. So I had to do all this shit on the same day. So when I tell you, I just was nonstop yesterday. During the time I was going to take a break, I had some clothes and shit that I had been sitting for a couple weeks that I was like, man, I'll get to these, whatever. And I just hadn't got to them. So finally I was like, fuck it, I'll just start doing one shirt. And then sometimes that's all it takes. I just did one shirt, and then I did the entire stack of clothes. I went and fucking did a bunch of shit, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm not going to chill for a minute. So once all was said and done, I had 10 minutes left to chill. I did a listing, and then I went up and got my kid down, went to go get my other kid. And then she wanted to go to the playground after, so we were at the playground, came home, fucking broke down the couch, mowed the lawn, I went from, as soon as my wife got home to watch the kids, I was like, all right, tagging out. She took them to the garden. I went, started working on the couch, did most of the lawn. I'm going to do the rest of the lawn today. I wasn't going to do it today, but I don't think, we were going to go to a farmer's market today, but my kid's been fucking sick, so I don't think that's going to happen. And so then, so by the time it was nighttime yesterday, it was 9 o'clock before I finally finished. And I was like, I want to play fucking video games for a little bit. So I played for a little bit, and then my wife, we watched a show. She went to bed because she had to work. And I was like, I'll stay up a little bit longer. I haven't really fucking chilled for the whole day. So I played for a little bit, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go up. I'm trying to get to sleep at 11, I try to get to bed earlier than that, but it doesn't always happen. And so I'm finally starting to fall asleep, and sometimes I just have trouble falling asleep, and then all of a sudden I just hear one of my kids. So I just hear my daughter, and then I hear my wife oh, can you go check on her? So I fucking get up, jump up, run in there, and she's just calling for mama. She's whining, whimpering. So I'm like, all right. So sometimes when she's doing that, my youngest is a fucking mama's girl. My oldest is all about me. She's not it's different because I'm the stay-at-home dad. So my kids do love me like a dad, but I do a lot of the disciplinary shit too, because I'm just fucking there a lot, you know what I mean? So I just have to lay down the law sometimes. So they don't always go to me for cuddles, which is fine. So she wanted mama, and mama wasn't home, and so mama was in bed, and so I was like, so she started getting louder and louder. I'm like, fuck, well, now she's going to wake up the other one. So I just like ran into the other room. I grabbed my wife. I'm like, hey, can you just go? Like, you know, sometimes she gets stuck in there. So she went in there, and like I was kind of in and out. Like I still hadn't fallen asleep at this point. Like I was just about to fall asleep, and this woke me up. And so they like are in the other room, and then I can hear them in the bathroom. And she gave her some like ibuprofen, and she was still like whimpering. So then she brings her into our room, and I'm like kind of falling asleep at this point, but kind of not. And I can feel like I keep getting kicked in the middle of the night. And so like I woke up and I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go put her back in the bed. Like she's been sleeping in here for a minute. She's got to be ready to go back into her bed. So I go put her in her bed, like tuck her in. She's asleep. I go into the bathroom. As soon as the bathroom door closes, I can fucking hear her. So I'm like, oh my God. So I run back in, and she's still. So I bring her back into our room so she doesn't wake up her sister. Left her in there, and I just went downstairs. I was like, if I'm gonna sleep at all, which at that point I'm like, I'm not sleeping. You know what I mean? You just know. I'm like, this is a night where I'm not like. I should check. I think my fucking ring died. Fuck, I wish I had my ring on last night. I've been better about charging it, but it was not charged. It would have told me exactly how much I slept last night, but it was not. I doubt I got even an hour of sleep last night. It was like from like, yeah, because I was about to fucking go to sleep, and then all of a sudden she was up. So wake up in the morning, and she's still, you know, she's like, my belly hurts, and she's like, you know, this, that, and the other, and she didn't really eat. She ate a little bit of breakfast, but so I called the doctor right when they opened and made the first appointment that they had. Took my oldest to school, and I was like driving back, so we had a little bit of time to kill. So I was like, oh, we'll go to the post office and then go back to the doctor. And so we're driving, and luckily we hadn't got to the house yet, but we're like driving. We're like, you know, just about to pass our house, and she coughs and she like starts throwing up in the back seat. So I'm like, oh, fuck me. So I get out, like pull over. I, you know, get her all cleaned up, and I don't have an extra shirt at this point, but I'm like literally, the house is like right there. So I'm like, all right, let's just go. No shirt, get back to the house, change her up, get her all cleaned up. I'm like, fuck it, I'll go to the post office after. So we leave, go back to the doctor, and they test her for like, you know, RSV, strep, COVID, all that nonsense. Which all came back negative. I'm like, I could have fucking told you that she didn't have any of that shit. Like, what are we doing here? Like, and then she didn't. What I was mostly worried about was because she kept saying her stomach hurt, but she wasn't. There was not. You know what I mean? Once she puked, she kind of felt better. So I was like, well, there's really no point in me being at the doctor. But we already made the appointment. We don't have to pay for it. She's fucking insured. Whatever. There's no copay. But yeah, so then we got, but she was still like, kind of like, she kept doing this like grunting thing, like she was uncomfortable. And so, we got back to the house, and I just put on the TV. I was like, whatever, you know, she's sick. Just put the fucking TV on, let her chill. So she's there for a bit. I was making myself some lunch. I was going to make her like, you know, some bananas with like some applesauce and some toast, like some shit she can pick at if she wanted to eat it. As soon as I finished her breakfast, I turn around. She's like puking into the couch, like right next to the bucket I gave her to puke into. So she fucking pukes all over the couch. I'm like, fuck me, dude. So I clean that up. And mind you, I'm in the middle of cooking right now. So I'm like, fuck, that was the worst time for that to happen. But then after that, like, she wasn't like doing the grunting thing. She didn't seem uncomfortable anymore. So I think she kind of like, sometimes that happens to me where I'm just like, it takes forever. And she doesn't know, you know what I mean? If I'm feeling like that, I know to make myself puke. But she like doesn't know to make herself puke. So she was making a lot of the sounds I make when I feel like, you know, she's just like, ugh, you know, just uncomfortable. And I'm hoping she got it up, and I'm hoping it's not like a stomach bug. I don't think it was a stomach bug, but you never know. Who knows? She was eating yesterday, kind of. She just like wanted like yogurt all day, so who knows what that means. But anyway, enough about fucking, that was like 10 minutes of just puke to start the episode, so I'm sorry for that, but it's also a parenting podcast, I guess, or my journal, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. So yeah, anyway, another week of reselling. I have some stuff to talk about from the prior week of reselling, but I'll start with like the newer stuff now, and then we'll just kind of jump all around. I have all my fucking bullet points and shit. So So yeah, Friday we were out of town this weekend. So we left. What day did we leave? We left Saturday morning. So we were back for Friday and Saturday. So I hit a sale on Friday, and I'm pretty sure I got some shit Friday. What was the sale on Friday? Because my wife was working. I'm trying to remember. Because I just fucking hit this sale, and I remember I got something decent. Hold on, let me pull up my list here from the sales that I went to. I have all my guides, so I can kind of look them up. I don't remember what exactly it was that I got. It was like, was that it? 531? No, 530. Oh, I don't even have any. Oh, yeah, so there were no sales on Friday. Yeah, there was nothing on Friday. I thought I got some shit on Friday, no? Trying to think. Maybe I didn't. Huh. Yeah, no, I didn't get shit on Friday apparently. But I went out Saturday. That's crazy. I really thought I forgot that Friday was like, yeah, there was an estate sale, but it was like kind of a hike, and then my kid was getting out of school early, so yeah, I didn't hit any. I don't think I found any. It was kind of rainy again. So Saturday was like, there's all these sales that were supposed to happen, and they were like Saturday, Sunday if it's raining. So we left Saturday, of course, and it stopped raining by like 10 a.m. here, so it kind of sucks because it's like, I did hit like 2 estate sales. I think I hit 2 sales that day. And I got like the first sale I got to, this guy I know was, that first sale I got to was an estate sale. And like they were making everybody wait till the last minute, and so I was there. I was talking to one of these, this guy I know from sales and shit. And so we're shooting the shit, and like they kept bringing stuff out. Originally they said estate sale, and so I was like, oh, it's gonna be the house, and like, And he starts bringing shit out, and it's just like, it's all stuff that I'm like, I don't want any of this stuff. And because you can see what all they're bringing out. They're like, just they've got, at this point they had a huge group of people accumulated outside of this place. Because it's raining, there's no other sales. And so like 10 minutes before the sale, I was just like, I looked at that other guy and I was like, dude, do you want to just get out of here? Because the sale's it's going to be expensive. Like, so we both ditched that sale. We knew that shit was going to be expensive. Went to another sale, and I ran into this guy that I know that like, he buys like some of the same shit as me. So he got a couple things that I probably would have picked up. It's like a PlayStation 2. I mean, nothing crazy, like, nothing I'm going to fucking be crying over. But when I went over to like the area where he got the cards and shit, there was like a set of Carhartt overalls, which I thought he would have picked those up. But he must not have seen them. So I grabbed those and I was like, how much on these overalls? They said $5 fucking. So that was the only thing I got there. And then I went back to another sale. It's same like thing this week where, at least this week I didn't do a ton of driving. I went to 2 sales. I went to one, and then the next sale I went to, I went to that first one that I left, and then I went to the other one, and then the third one that I went to, I didn't find, like, there wasn't a ton of stuff there that I wanted. There was like a couple things of furniture, but not furniture. There was like a lamp that I wanted, but I completely forgot about it when I got there, and I didn't see it. So I don't know if it just had sold already. But they had like a little Canon like lens. It was like an image stabilizer lens. So I was like, oh, do you have the camera or anything like that goes to this? And because I saw it, the charger, and then they had it in like 3 different places. So I asked the lady like 3 times. I hate like bugging people at sales, but it's like, bitch, I asked you a question about something you're selling, and like, just fucking go get it. So she was just, kind of useless. She's like, oh, finally, she's like, oh, I couldn't find it. If you want to go ask my husband, he's out in the garage. So I'm like, all right, well, fuck. At this point, this camera's probably been sold, and I'm just wasting my time. So I go around and I'm like, I ask him, and he's like, oh, let me go get it. He comes and gets it, and he, so he had like all the pieces together now at this point. So he's like, oh, I would do like 30 on it. And I was like, would you do 20? And so he took 20, and it's like, I think the image stabilizer is like $100 lens. And then like the camera with the lens that it came with is like 150. So probably get a little bit less because they'll try to sell it quicker. But, so yeah, I got that. That was like a nice little score. But then again, it was just like, it was fucking raining. So we drove out to my in-laws who live like western part of the state. And so as we're getting out there, it's just the weather's getting worse. So it's like raining and shit. So I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'll get lucky. And, all the sales that were supposed to be today will be tomorrow. So I get out there and I start looking up, sales and shit. It's easier for me once I'm there to look shit up because I don't really know, you know what I mean? I can't really see where shit is, and I know like to where I am in relation to the map, but a lot of times it doesn't update like certain things like location and all that shit. So I try to wait till I get there to look shit up, and I got there and I'm like, there's like no Sunday sales. There's a couple Sunday sales. A lot of them are like, an hour drive. Like we were in the middle of fucking nowhere kind of. So I'm like, maybe there'll be some shit that just popped up. But then I forgot that like out there they do sales on Friday. Like, we're going back out there this week because we got a couple things to do. Luckily we'll be there for Friday, so I'll be able to go out on Friday because Fridays suck here. But like, yeah, Fridays are really bad here. Like it's very rare that I find a sale on a Friday here. Watch, this will be the week that it's like the best sale. So anyway, yeah, so their sales are on Friday, so I should be able to go out to some sales then. But yeah, there was like 2 sales on that Sunday. So I tried to make the most of it. The first sale I went to was like an estate sale, and they had it the day before. And their prices were pretty high on stuff. There wasn't like a ton of stuff that I wanted, but the lady was like, "Oh, there's the bear room over here." So I was like, "Oh, well, I know like what to look for certain things." So most of them were Boyd's bears, but she had a couple Stife bears. She had another one that was like she wanted like 35 for the Stife bear, but that looked like it was selling for it. And she did tell me, she was like, "Oh, everything's half off today." So I was like, "Oh, okay." Like, so like I saw this big panda bear. It was Stife, which is like a higher end old like vintage bear brand. They made like more than just bears, but like stuffed animals, I guess. And like part of it still had the tag on it, and so she had it tagged at like $225. So I was like, and like there was that was the only other bear. Like all the other bears, I don't think were worth much money at all. There was like another one they had marked at $225, but I couldn't find a tag on it, and it was fucking huge. So I was like, But the one that was $225, of course, I looked it up there and I couldn't find anything about this fucking thing. I put like Stife panda bear with ball, and nothing came up. Until afterwards I searched. Afterwards I searched just ball. I put Stife ball and it came up. I'm like, Stife panda with ball, and the listing was like giant panda with ball. That's the one that came up. I'm like, so why the fuck didn't it come up when I searched panda with ball? It makes no fucking sense. So anyway, it ended up, coming up. There was only one listed for like $375. Theirs didn't have any tags on it. It did come with like the bag, but I don't think the bag was just something that you got at the store. It wasn't like, I don't know if it was like, something that it came with if you got it online or whatever. But anyway, so it said $225, and she had already been like, "Oh, everything's half off." So I'm like, it's going to be around like $114, whatever, fucking $112, whatever, $112.50, I think is the exact. And so I was like, "Hey, can I ask you how much, like what the lowest you would go on that bear is?" And she was like, "Honestly, I would do like 75. And I was like, "Would you do 50? And 50 is like high to kind of take a gamble. But I know Stife is a very popular brand, and like people love panda bears, even though I didn't find that first one listed. There was none sold. There was a bunch of panda bears sold, but not the exact one. But there was one exact one listed for like $375 plus shipping. So I was like, I'll pay 50. I was like, even if I get $250 for it, you know what I mean? Like it's a bigger thing, and just got to throw it in the box. There's no threat of it breaking. You got to maybe put the little ball in a plastic bag because it's got the tag on it still. But aside from that, it's going to be pretty easy to ship, but it's heavy as fuck. But yeah, I was shocked. She was like from $225 down to $50. I didn't think that was going to actually happen. And then she was like, she confused me because she was like, "Oh yeah, I'd rather it doesn't go to a collector. I'd rather it go to somebody who's going to actually enjoy it." You know what I mean? She said, like, saying this to me, like, after she's accepting my offer of $50. And I'm just like, well, like, what? And the only thing I could think of, like, I didn't even say, like, "Oh, this is for my kid" or anything like that. I just was like, I was looking at, they had, like, these vintage clothing, and I was like, this is something cute. Like, my daughter might wear it. Like, my daughter might fit into this. Like, it was actually, like, a cute vintage coat, but it looked, like, uncomfortable as shit. But I was like, "Oh, my daughter might fit in this." So that's the only thing I said. I wasn't just like, "Oh," and that was before I even saw the bear room. I wasn't like trying to set up for anything. I was just making small talk. So I don't know if that's what she thought. She thought I was buying it for my kid. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking buy a $50 bear for my kid. Like an originally $225 bear that you had. Like that was fucking nuts. So I don't know what she was talking about. She was confused, or if she was just burnt out from doing that sale. But anyway, so then I went from there. There was like one other sale that was closer to where we were staying. It was like 10 minutes from where we were staying. So I went there, and they had what the fuck did they had? They had like, so I got there, and like there's a bunch of people. They must have just opened up because like all these people just walked in. And so like they kind of started on the left side, but on the right side of the sale, they had like the free pile, and I saw a Bose stereo thing. It doesn't work, unfortunately, but I can still probably get like $40 for it for parts. And then like two laser, I think it was called laser line cassette holders. So I've sold cassette holders in the past, and they do well. These ones actually like sell for like $40 all day. It's like 35, 40 all day. So those were all free. And then I paid like $10, I think, for an espresso machine that was like still sealed in the box. You know, they send it like inside a box. Like it was inside the shipped box. So all I have to do is slap a new label on that. And I used a stock photo because, you know, it's already sealed in the box. So, yeah. It was a decent weekend there. Oh, I did find a new, because we would go out there like all the time, and like there's never any thrift stores out in that area. But there's like a new thrift store right on the route of where we have to go. So I'm pretty pumped about that. So check that out every time we go down. I got some decent stuff. I got some jerseys. It's funny, some of like these little thrift stores that you go in and they're just blaring Christian rock. Like I went in and it was like these songs I just recognized from my days of going to youth group. It's just like, I can only imagine. Like, what the fuck? I'm trying to fucking hustle here. I can't be listening to fucking Christian rock music. So I got like a hat, a cool like vintage Carolina Panthers hat, and a couple other things in there. I got a cool Batman fanny pack, but I might have to hang on to that. But like nothing crazy, but like, yeah, you know, definitely a cool little find. I got like a Carson Palmer jersey. I can probably get like $30 for that. But it was cheap prices on most of the stuff, except they had like random shit. Like, most of the time, anytime I've ever found those Texas Instrument calculators, people, you know, just assume they're worthless, like, you know, sell them for $1. This place actually had them like at the value that they go for, which was pretty crazy. I was like, but everything else was marked low, but they had those in a case behind the register. I was like, what the fuck? So random. But all the prices were like, I was expecting them to be high when I saw that, and then I was like, oh, these are actually reasonable prices. They just have random shit marked up for whatever reason. But yeah, and so that was, you know, wasn't bad. Not a bad weekend overall. But again, it's like I just keep finding a few profitable, like really profitable things that kind of save the week. Otherwise, it's not been great. I mean, the rain hasn't helped, and it's supposed to rain again this Saturday. I am going to be back this Saturday, but who knows what the fuck's going to happen with the rain. So there's, yeah, that's always fucking annoying. There was a free pile. I don't know. I just thought about this because there's an estate sale like up the street next week. It's like, it looks all right. I'll go to it, but I'm not going to get there early. It's like a ton of tools and hardware and shit. Like, it's going to be packed. There's going to be a lot of people. Plus I have my kids. I'd have to get there at like 7 to get a number. And I'm like, I'll just get back here and fucking get in when I get in. Because there wasn't like anything I think anybody's going to go for except for the tools. But you might find some shit throughout. But there's also a bunch of different shit. But anyway, I got sidetracked. There was a pile at the end of one of the houses on that street the other day. It was like right before it was about to rain. And I pussied out. Like, I completely pussied out. I was like, I don't know if this is a free pile. Because my wife told me about it. She was like, oh, I just passed. I don't know if it's a free pile. I think it might be. So I drove over there. There's no sign. And they hadn't posted it anywhere. So I'm like, well, I don't know if it's free. And it's just literally, it was right by the curb. So it was free. I don't know why the fuck I was like, this is not free. So anyway, I didn't look, and then it rained, and then I went back the next day, and it ended up being mostly junk. Like, I don't think anybody took anything that would have been valuable out of there. But I don't know what the fuck. I've put myself in awkward situations before where, you know, it's much more uncomfortable than that. And for some reason, I was just like, I don't want to go dig through this trash pile for whatever reason. Maybe it's because I knew it wasn't worth it, and I just didn't want to get my hopes up. Every free pile I have hit this year has been trash. Last year, I hit, like, by this point, I'd given people money for their free shit because it was such good free shit. That's how good the free shit was last year. I got, like, fucking toys and... Sorry, I need a swig of water. I got a bunch of different shit. But this year, it's just like, I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe Marketplace. A lot more boomers sell on Marketplace. I don't know. I really don't know. But anyway, let me pull out my little list of shit because I have a ton of shit to go through. Try to keep my fucking thoughts a little organized so I can try to get through this as best as I can. Oh, I don't know if anybody's ever had this happen before, but I had somebody like send me a message about a backpack and they had like zero feedback. They were like, hey, can you tell me the centimeters or something of the backpack? Something random. And, you know, as always, my pictures show the fucking measurements, so you can take a look at the pictures. So I was like, I'm not going to answer this person right away. I'll get back to them, whatever. So like the next morning I woke up and I had a message from eBay. It was like, you've recently come in contact with this username, stop all communication, don't reply to any messages. If you have replied to their messages, like say a prayer. Like it was like, wait, what? Luckily I hadn't said shit to them. I didn't like open it. I didn't even open the message in eBay. I opened them on like in the Gmail app or whatever. I think that's where it goes, is like the Gmail, and then you can read it in the actual mail. And that way it still stays as a notification. Otherwise, I forget to respond to messages sometimes. I have to leave the notifications on because otherwise they just fucking go away. But yeah, I've had that happen once before. And it was like, I think I had already sent the thing to the person. Like I had sent the thing and like everything went through fine. Like nothing happened after the fact. But it was just really random. It was like, that person is a scammy, blah, 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 whatever. But yeah. I also got a message from like somebody. They were like really shitty about, like, I had this old Harvard sweatshirt, and again, in the pictures I have the listings, and so they're like, hey, can you tell me the exact measurements of this sweatshirt? Did you even look at your pictures or some fucking shit? And like, just being shitty. You could tell they were being shitty. And I'm just like, well, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but like picture whatever shows clearly what the size of the chest to chest is. Like these clear as day, you can see it in the measurement. It's like, and so I was like, I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I blocked them instantly because I was like, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they weren't being shitty, but it's like, come on, what the fuck are you talking about? The pictures are there. Like, I've seen much worse pictures. Like, they were clear as fuck, like, shows you exactly where the measurement ends. Like, so I'm not sure what the fuck they were talking about. But they weren't buying that shit from me. That's for fucking sure. Yeah, that was really weird. What else? And then the other thing, I was randomly, because I was at a sale the other day. One of the things that, like, you ever get caught in a situation, it's not even like a situation where it's like the wind will blow and something will fall over right next to you, and then the person turns around and you're fixing it and you're like, yeah, the wind. And they're like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they know it's the wind, but I feel like in my mind, they're like, oh, this fucking idiot can't even go to a yard sale. He's here early and now he's knocking over our shit. And I'm like, it's the wind. I swear to fucking God. That's one of the things that's like, it's not like it's not a pet peeve or anything like that. It's just, again, I put myself in uncomfortable situations all the time, but when something blows over next to me by the wind, I'm just like, oh, I immediately go into like a mini panic. Like, fuck, this person's going to kick me out of their sale. Oh God. And they're like, oh, it's all right. It's blown over like 5 times. You're like, okay, thank you for putting me at ease. The things that I stress about. Let's see. So I'm trying to figure out what I didn't talk about last week. Oh, so last week, I didn't get to this, but there was, so Oh, that was like a little wheeze. I've had like some weird chest congestion the last couple days. I've been taking Mucinex to try to get this shit out. Like I was waking up in the morning and my chest was like crazy tight. I think I finally got allergies. I think they finally fucking got to me. But no, I went to this sale. What was it? Last week. And it was another one of those situations where I'd driven around all day and didn't really find shit. And I just happened to pull up my phone and like, you know, if I'm going home early, I try to make it a habit of checking Facebook before I leave the last sale, just to be like, oh, you know, let's see if there's a sale. Because I didn't do that when we were after we left that thrift store in Western Mass this weekend. There was a sale like fucking 5 minutes from there. And I didn't even check, and I could have checked it and fucking gone over. But anyway, so I checked, and there was like a sale that had just been posted that they were like, you know, to here till whatever, and it was like, you know, a little bit out of the way going home, but I was like, oh, I'll swing over there. It's only 10 minutes from the house. And I could see they had Fenton glass, like the uranium, like a nice color, like with the little hobnails or whatever the fuck they're called. And so I could see that. So I was like, all right, I'll just shoot over there. At least they have that, like whatever. And as soon as I got there, I could see it on the table. But like there wasn't then too many people there. Nobody was even looking at that direction. So I just kind of like played it cool and looked at some other shit. And then like, you know, as soon as some other people started walking up, then I was like, all right, I need to go over and make a move on these glass. So I started asking her about it. And she was like, oh, I do 5 each on the big ones and then like 2 for the other ones. So she ended up wanting like 12. So she did $1 each on the other small ones. So I got like 3 pieces of like, you know, nice glassware for like $12. And then the lady that was there at the sale was like multiple families. So one of the other tables that was there, she had some Lego books. So I was like, oh, do you guys have any other like Lego toys or whatever? And she's like, oh, my son has a bunch that he's trying to sell, but we didn't bring any today. Like he's got some of the old Star Wars stuff and like that he was given that he doesn't even play with. So I was like, oh, sweet. So I was like, left my number. And then the ad popped up on Facebook. And I don't know if I got like overzealous or what, but I like sent a message just like, hey, I just met you earlier today. And I saw your ad just popped up. You know, figured I'd put this here just in case, you know, you wanted to reach out here if it's safer for you or whatever. If you're more comfortable reaching out here or whatever. I just pitched it as like that. And then they never replied. So I'm like, oh, fuck. They're not going to text me about these Legos. But they might. Who knows? So we'll see. I'm hoping that they, you know, do text me about them. So we shall see. It would be nice when she was like, oh, there's like older Lego stuff. You know, some of those older Lego figures go for some money. Because she was like, oh, yeah, he has a bunch of like the older figures. That's what she said. So I was like, oh, shit. But who knows? She probably told somebody, oh, some guy was into the Legos. And then somebody was like, oh, they're worth some money. And that's probably what happened. And they always assume you're not going to pay any money for them. Which they're kind of right. If it was at a yard sale, no. But if it's like a private sale, obviously I'm going to fucking pay up a little bit. So, whatever. I mean, I was happy with the glass buy. I have it listed already. It's all like the glow-in-the-dark UV shit. So, we'll see. I don't know what's been going on with me lately. I've been like getting like emotional over my kids and shit. I was listening to what the fuck? It was like it just came on. It was like a random, like I had like the 90s like soft pop or some shit on. I forget what it was. And It's All Coming Back to Me Now by Celine Dion came on. It's like sung about like a person, like, you know, it's a song about like loving somebody else, but like I don't think it's like a, you know, mother to daughter or, you know, father to daughter song at all. But that song came on, I just started getting like fucking teary-eyed, like all high and shit, like my fucking kids are growing up so fast. Just randomly to Celine Dion's It's All Coming Back to Me Now. I was like, what the fuck? What is Celine Dion doing to me right now? So when I was out in Western Mass, I had on a fucking like a Blink-182 shirt. And it was one from like 2005. It's like right from when I was in high school. And you know, I'm going to pay at this store, and the person who's the cashier, I don't know, I'll say they, them. I think it was a girl, but I don't know. It might have been a dude. I can never tell anymore. Who knows? I'll just say they, them. So I like went over. They insulted me anyway. So I go over to buy some shit. And she's like, I was getting some beers. My wife wanted some beers or whatever because we were going to the campground. So she was like, she's like, oh, not that it's, not obvious enough by your T-shirt, but I need to check your ID. And I'm just like, what the fuck? It's kind of insulting. Like, you're old as fuck. I could tell because you're wearing a Blink-182 shirt. Like, I know she was like meant it to be like, hey, we're the same age probably. Like, oh, you like Blink-182, I like Blink-182. Ha ha ha. You know what I mean? But it was just like, she's just like, you're fucking old, and I don't need to check your ID, but I'm going to just to add insult to injury. Yeah, just to be clear, I don't think you look too young to buy alcohol, and the shirt definitely doesn't help. But yeah, I was like, you fucking bitch. Like, your haircut, like, just fucking try to throw a zinger and run out. Just crying. And then she was fucking dumb as fuck. I was like, because we were going to like a family party and shit. And I haven't really been doing the zins, but like, I was like, this is going to be like, I know it's not going to be the most fun party. It's going to be rainy. Everyone's going to be crammed inside. I was like, I'll grab some zins. We're going to be drinking tonight. And, sorry for that wheezy and fuck me. This fucking chest cold will not go away. Yeah, so I grabbed some zins because I'm like, oh, we're going to have a couple beers tonight. And so I was like, oh, can I have like the whatever milligram Zin Chill thing? And she's like, oh, well, we're in Massachusetts. Mind you, I just handed you a Massachusetts ID. Like, I'm not here from out of town. And she's like, we're in Massachusetts, so we don't do the flavors for like the Zins. Mind you, I've bought the same fucking flavor at that fucking place before. So I'm like, I get the regular pack, which I didn't want. Again, I don't even like to do these things. I was just like, this is the first time I bought them since the beginning of the year. And so she says that to me, and she's like, oh, they don't have it. So I get the regular pack, and then I'm like, we're driving back up to the campground, and we've passed another store. So my wife was like, can you stop there? She's like, she wanted like Sam Summers or something, and they didn't have that at the last place. So we stopped there. So I was like, well, I'll go in and see like, what they have, whatever. And so I go in and I see right on the counter that this place, which is not 5 minutes up the road from the other place, has the fucking Zins that I want. So I'm like, this fucking dumbass bitch. First she insults me, and then she's fucking confidently wrong. It's like, whoa, lady, there's a reason you're my age working at a grocery at a fucking gas station. That's what I should have said, bitch. You fucking bitch. Like, oh, well, your age, yeah. I don't know why I can't think of an insult for this bitch. I can roast anybody, but she just caught me off guard. Like, two things in a row. She's like, she called me old and retarded all at the same time. She's like, I don't know if you know where you are, sir. You're in Massachusetts. We can't sell you this shit. Like, fuck you, bitch. I was so mad. When I went up the street, I was like, this fucking asshole. I almost wanted to go back to the fucking store. Like, that's how fucking annoyed I was. I wanted to drive back there and walk in and be like, hey, can I return these other ones that you just fucking told me that you didn't have this shit? The shit that I just got 5 minutes up the road, still in Massachusetts. You stupid fuck. So yeah, that was really annoying. But yeah, so then I got a couple, like, I stopped with the Bud Lights. Bud Lights were like, I don't know. I was drinking them for a little bit, but now I'm just like, I'm literally like, my drinking is, I drink less and less and less. And then every time I do, I still try to drink the same amount like a fucking moron. So I bought like a 4-pack. They have like the 4 tall boys of IPAs. And so we got back to my in-laws. Have like a little campground that they have, and it's pouring out, like, so there's nothing to do, and the kids are entertained. So I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm just hanging out, like, let's just have a couple beers. So I'm drinking like IPAs, and so we get the kids down to bed, like their usual bedtime around like 8:39. And no, it was before that. I don't know why I said 8:39. I think it took that long to wind them down because they were like, there's like a loft area in the camper that we were sleeping in. So it's like almost like a mobile home, but it's like a trailer on a campground that my in-laws have. So it's like, there's places for people to sleep and shit. But there's like a little loft where the kids like to sleep. So like that's where they were up on top. And so I had like, we had dinner and we were hanging out. I had like 3 of the tall boys out of 4. And so right after we finished getting the kids down, like I sat down, I was like, oh, I'll crack a drink, have another drink. Because I was expecting like my in-laws to sit down and hang out with us. And they just like fucking went to bed. As soon as I cracked it, and they just like went immediately into the bedroom. Didn't say goodnight to us. We were like, what the fuck? But I talked to my mother-in-law the next day, and she was like, oh, I didn't know if you guys needed to, like, us to be quiet, so we were just in the room. And we were like, oh, you guys could have stayed and hung out. They were fucking fine. But I had like that 4th beer. It was like 1, and I was not really keeping up with my water intake. Like I try to keep up with it when I'm drinking. Like try to drink like a beer and then drink a full, like almost a full thing of water before I switch to the next one. But it was just one of those like, again, haven't been drinking much. And so it just kind of like crept up on me. So that 4th beer, man, the next morning I woke up and I felt okay. And that's when I went to those sales. And then when I got back, I was just like, I kept drinking. I had a liquid IV. I had like water. It was one of those situations where you just keep drinking water. And you just do not, like, you never feel better. You just keep feeling like shit. And then, like, then we had a family party to go to. So I was like, fuck, man, like, I have a headache, like, a motherfucker. Like, this headache was not going away. And my wife forgot to bring ibuprofen. So we're like, I'm just driving, just miserable. So we get to the fucking party. As soon as we get there, I asked my wife's sister if I can get some ibuprofen. So she gets me some ibuprofen, and I'm like hoping that that's gonna make me feel better. But I'm still like now I'm like faced with this challenge of like I have to go do this family party. I'm extremely hungover, so I had like Zins and I had some weed. So like I smoked some weed and fucking was like just trying to like get rid of this fucking headache. I was drinking as much water as I could, and then my mother-in-law was like asking about beers, and she was like, oh, I don't like the beers that I got for them. Like she picked up beers for her other daughter, and she's like, I got them for her and I realized I don't even like them. And so I was like, oh, well, we have a couple beers, like, there's a couple Sam Adams and like, whatever. So I went and got her a Sam Adams, and my wife's like, well, I want a beer. So as I was walking out, like I had this one thought. It was like one thought, 3 parts that just went in and out of my brain like all at once. And it was like, yeah, I'm not going to drink today. Definitely not drinking today. I might have a drink today. Literally all in one. And I fucking shit you not. And I went and had a cider, and it didn't make me feel better. I thought it would. It made me feel a little bit okay, but then I had like another one and I was like, eh. So I had 2 like ciders, and it didn't really help with the headache much. Eventually it like kind of started to go away, but it was just like, it was one of those. It's like, you're like, you're reserved to your fate for the entire day. Cause it's like, it doesn't go away. A hangover, like you could sleep. I mean, if you have the time to sleep, that's the other thing too, is like, we don't sleep great when we're there cause we sleep on the pull out couch. So like every movement is like, you're waking up. So it's like you're half asleep the entire night. And then the next morning you wake up and your body just has not recovered. So yeah, it was not ideal to go to a family party all fucking hungover. It was like, oh shit. But then so that day, so we were going to the party and like, and so we were like, I needed to eat something. I was like, they're not going to be eating until like 2:33. I was like, I need to eat something, and I fucking hate McDonald's, but that was like we're in the middle of nowhere. So like it was either that or there was like a Wendy's that was like out of the way. So we preferred to go to Wendy's, but it was like, this McDonald's here. Let's just do it. So we get kids meals. I got a burger, whatever. I ate my burger real quick. They put like 4 pieces of cheese on my wife's burger. She was like, what the fuck? It was like just 2 double pieces of cheese that were like stuck together that they just were like, here you go. And it's like unmelted. So I was like, well, I don't give a shit. Like, I just ate mine. She was ripping cheese off because she had a bunch of fucking things of cheese. Mine didn't have that much cheese. Mine had 2 slices. Hers had like fucking 4. And so we get the McDonald's. We got the Happy Meal so they could get the toy. And luckily, they were like pumped about the toy. They fucking hated the food. So we've done something right. Because I've been to like my kids' school, picked them up at school before, where kids are like, can we go get McDonald's? Like, and I've heard kids like specifically ask for McDonald's. My kids do not like that shit. We've not got it. We don't get it enough. Like, when we do get it, and that's the thing, it's so inconsistent. It's like you'd have to get it at a perfect. Like, my burger was fine. The burger that they gave my daughter was like, I took a bite out of it and I was like, this is fucking disgusting. These 2 different burgers. Like, she would have gladly eaten mine. But she was like, no, this is fucking gross. So she didn't want to eat any of it. She wouldn't eat the fry. She wouldn't. But so we were like, well, we've spent the money on it, but at the same time, we're like, we're glad that neither one of them will eat poison. Like, my youngest won't eat it. Neither one of them will fucking eat it. But they played with the toy, so that was cool. And again, the only time I get is like if we're road tripping or like if I'm severely hungover and we're on the road. I wouldn't even do it if I'm severely hungover and I'm at home. I'm not going to go get McDonald's. But like if we're on the road and we need something, and again, this was the only option. It was like that or drive, another 10 minutes out of the way to get Wendy's. So I was like, this is fucking right here. Let's just go there. And I mean, my burger tasted fine. I got some chicken nuggies and some, all mystery meat. And did I feel great afterwards? No, not really. But I needed to eat something or I'd have felt a lot worse. So, yeah. Man, fucking chest compressed. It's compressed. Congested. I finally got a new tip for my honey badger, dude. I need to reach out to them about sponsorship because I'm still using their shit. They have a bunch of different cool colors and shit on the website that I want to get, like a different color, and but I just don't feel like spending money on it. So like maybe they just hook me up, I don't know. It would be cool, it would be cool, but I mean, I don't really do the podcast high anymore, which is kind of, I know some people might be disappointed about it. I'm sure other people are like, fucking finally, the podcast sucks when you get. It's not even like I can do it when I'm high. It's just when I'm fucking tired and I have a million things going on. It's just hard to do it. I'm surprised I've gotten through this one. I was falling asleep on the couch. Still playing Indiana Jones. That game is fun as shit, man. It's just I'm like getting towards the end, so I'm like doing the side quests first and shit. So it's just, it's getting there. I've noticed lately that a majority of Facebook reels are just like unfunny MILFs trying to be funny, like doing sketches. And I think that's maybe just my algorithm. I was showing my wife some of the shit that pops up on my Facebook. She's like, I don't get any of this stuff. I get like these weird deranged AI videos and like, I'm like, shit that makes me think I'm going insane. And my wife's like, I don't get any of this stuff. I'm like, why is this showing? She's like, I just get like parenting shit and like nice like dog videos. I'm like, I get all the craziest shit. She's like, you click on it. I'm like, well, but I'm not seeking it out. Like somehow it knows that I want this shit at some point. But like 95% of the fucking reels are like these unfunny MILFs who are like, I'm doing sketch comedy on TikTok, and they're never funny. It's just like they're just hot and people click. I click on it because they're hot. That's it. And then I go, I'm like, what the fuck? What was this? They just are doing some like sketch comedy shit. Like, 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there. It doesn't make any sense, but I'm like, hey, I guess the algos got me. They got me on those MILFs. So I went to go pay. There wasn't a ton of reselling stuff this week. Sorry, I thought I had more reselling stuff to talk about, but it's just I talked about a lot of the reselling stuff that I had to talk about. But I went to go pay my daughter's school, and so like you have to pay for like 10 months. But my wife like explained it. You don't even have to pay for 10 months. You just have to pay like I think it's like $4,000 or something like that. Yeah, it was 10 months at $400 a month. So it's like $4,000 or some shit for the school year. So you just have to pay like, I don't know if it has to be all done by the first or how it works. But anyway, so like I was, the last time I went there, she was like, she volunteered the information to me. I didn't even ask her. She goes, all right, Mr. Phillips, you've got one more payment left. Congratulations. I remember exactly how she said it because I was just about to ask her, like, hey, is this the last payment, or like, is next month the last payment? And so she's like, next month's the last payment. So I go in and I go to pay her, and I'm like, all right. And she goes, and it looks like you've just got one more month left. I go, what? You told me that I was good after this next payment. Like, you were the one who told me that last month. And then she kind of got shitty. And like, she'd been nice to me all year. Like, you know, I fucking pay my shit, you know, every time, no issues. Like, never had to chase me down for money, like nothing. And so she's like, yeah, no, like you missed for like May. So then she said that, I was like, I didn't miss a month. Like, I've not missed. I paid every month. And so like at this point, I'm trying to not get shitty because I'm like, I know I'm gonna have to deal with this lady for like the rest of my fucking kids' fucking life. Like, maybe not. I definitely have to deal with her for my next child, for my youngest, when she goes to school. So I'm like, I can't like act a fool and fucking embarrass myself because I will see this lady at some point. But I also know that she's fucking wrong. Like, I know I haven't missed any payments. I know this is my last fucking payment, and she's fucking wrong. So I'm just like, I was like, well, I need to check my receipts because I was like, I know for sure I didn't miss any months. And I was like, and the last time I was here, you told me that this was the last payment. So I'm pretty sure I'm caught up. Like, and then all of a sudden she's like, oh, nope, sorry. That was my mistake. I messed up. Sorry for the confusion. Like, bitch, I wasn't confused. You should have said sorry for my confusion. Like, I was not confused. Nothing was confusing about me. I knew what the fuck I owed. I knew this was my last payment. I was ready to fucking hand it to you and walk out and move on with my day. And you fucking brought up the fact that it was not my last payment, even though it was, instead of checking before you fucking said anything. Even though I didn't say all that. I just go, oh, you scared me. Like, sorry for the confusion, bitch. Fuck you. Sorry for my confusion. Sorry for my confusion that led to you being scared shitless. That would have been a more accurate statement. I'm not even scared shitless. Just I just like hate handing fucking $400. And when somebody tells me that like you're done having to do that, and then you're like, whoops, just kidding. It's like, well, when does it fucking end? Do I give you the next $400? And you're like, no, sorry, it was another $400. When does it end? So luckily I kept my cool before she realized. And she was like, oh, nope, you're good. Sorry. I'm just like, oh yeah, sorry. And so she was like, well, but at least I won't see you again for another couple years and we won't have to take your money. I'm like, yeah, probably. Talking about like until my little one goes in there. But like, lady, fucking hey, man, that's like, you gotta figure it out. I don't know if I have anything else to talk about. That's like my whole list. I missed a bunch of shit on the last one, and then this week, I didn't get to a bunch of them. Oh, I saw somebody post. There was like some I don't remember where I saw it, but somebody was like posting that this like they were opening. It was like one of those fitness influencers. I probably only follow them because they're hot or some shit. I don't remember, but they were like posting that somebody was opening up a gym, like a fitness studio or something like that, and the name of it was the Sweatshop. Like, and it was being opened by white ladies. They're like, the Sweatshop, dude. That's the worst name. Hey, this is our gym that's named after child slavery. Like, I was like, dude, this is not a great name. I told my wife, I'm like, one of these fucking bimbo influencers that I follow fucking was posting like that their friend's opening this fucking gym called the Sweatshop. I'm like, she's like, I don't think they thought that name through. I'm like, no. And it's like white ladies who'd be like, Donald Trump's the worst person for saying some crazy shit. Meanwhile, you're over here like, welcome to the Sweatshop. Like, we're all like, oh, you're all using phones that were made, and it would be all right if the like sweatshops didn't exist anymore, if it was like an out, but it's like 100% certainty that there are sweatshops still in existence today, and you're like, yeah, let's call our fucking gym that. That's what we want to be associated with. It's cute though. They put like they put 2 P's and an E on shop, so it's not like it's different. It's not like a sweatshop like people jumping out of windows to kill themselves because they're so sick of working for Apple. Oh man. I don't know if I have anything else to talk about. I thought that I would have a lot more to go through, but yeah, I mean, I guess that was it. So I guess I'll see you next week, or talk to you next week. And yeah, if you like the show, make sure you tell a friend, subscribe. Podcast is available everywhere you get your podcast. So you can get on Spotify, YouTube, Apple. Is Pandora still around? Is Pandora still around? Hold on, I just completely forgot. Pandora was like, well, it was like Napster, and then Pandora came out, and it was like, yo, Pandora was like the free. I think that was like the first free streaming. No, hold on. This is how we'll kill the last 5 minutes right here. This is how you do it. You think of an obscure music app from like the fucking back in the day. Oh, Pandora does still exist. It's number 13 in music. Holy shit. Pandora was always just like, I don't know. It's probably better now, but it was always free. But that was like my first foray into Pandora. And yeah, Pandora was like, I'm pretty sure that was like the first one that came out, like the first streaming. Like you could get it on your phone and you could just stream music. But yeah, they didn't. Apparently, they're still around. Apparently, I thought that they had folded, but learn something new every day. That literally only took up like 2 minutes. I thought that would be the last 5 minutes. Anyway, that's the podcast. Follow me on Instagram, Perry Flips with a Z. On Twitter, Pothead Picker. I need to start posting more on there. I don't post too often on there, but once I start doing a little bit more, I'll start putting more shit on there. And then Flips and Giggles is the Facebook page and also the name of the eBay store. So if you want to check out the eBay store, give it a follow. If there's anything you ever see on the eBay store that you're interested in, shoot me a message. Shoot me a message on like on eBay. Somebody sent me a message on Instagram about something that I had posted on eBay, and I didn't see it because I'm terrible at checking the messages there. And so I finally saw like that there was a message request, and they were like, "Hey, we're interested in this jersey," blah blah blah, and it already sold. I actually haven't even responded to them. I'm bad at responding to messages. I respond to my eBay messages, just not any other messages. I try to, but it just sometimes doesn't work out. So if you do see anything that you are interested in on the eBay store, you can ask me. And most of my prices are negotiable. Like I'm not one of those people that are like, the price is firm on everything. I'm like, take it for whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna go look at some comic books tomorrow, so that should be interesting. We'll see how that goes. The guy had posted like he's got vinyl records. He posted pictures of the vinyl records, and then he posted like in one post like vinyl records for sale, blah blah blah, and then the very last like squeezed into the last sentence was like some comics. So I hit him up about the comic books, and he seems more interested in the records. Like I didn't even ask for pictures of the records. He just sent me pictures. He's like, records for you to see for your viewing pleasure. And I was like, well, do you have any pictures of the comic books? He's like, no pictures, but there's six short boxes. And he was telling me that they're like starting at like $1 each. And he said he's got some graded and shit. So like I don't know what. I was like, oh, do you have any pictures of those? He's like, no pictures of those, unfortunately, but whatever. So I'm going to look at those tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to be disappointed or not, or like, what's going to happen. I imagine that there's going to be, I don't know what to expect. He seems like he's more interested in the records than the comic books. So sometimes that can be, a win-win. I can get some deals, but we'll see what he's actually got. He said it's like 70s and up, so I don't know if it's going to be anything too crazy, but there's some keys in there, modern era. There's some good graded comic books that you can get for some money. So anyway, that's the podcast for the third time. I hope everybody has a great rest of your week, and I'll check in again next week. Peace out, Cub Scouts.